texture super fast, and they're just layering one color on top of another. So let's just bring this up here. And you can see how I never clean my knife, and I can layer those white, I'm just doing this side for you, just so you can see the strokes. And I can keep layering those up. They don't get muddy, and I can kind of see some of the individual strokes, where if I was, I'll show you in TV land, here, right? Where if I was doing these strokes all at once, I'd have to do it with one little small knife, and it would take forever. The same thing when you look at these kind of Van Gogh-ish skies, right? So I have my fan brush, I have two different colors, and what I do is I pick up the color, let's pick it up like this, and I'm gonna do these half C's, right? I'm gonna do these arches. So this is not so much a painting, but this is just showing you how you can use the fan brush when you're doing this layering. Do you see how I can just keep picking up? I'm going from blue to white to white to blue, or I can have 2 or 3 different colors on here, and I get this texture. So when you look at those kind of Van Gogh, you know, those big super strokes. Do you see how I can keep layering and layering? And I can even do it if I'm using oils. I've done this with watercolors too. It never gets muddy or tired or anything like that. The other thing, so I have one stroke going across one like that. So those are other impressionist strokes, right, that you can use. The other thing is I can change this dramatically if I don't like it. I can all blend it together. And then I would use a brush. I could use my mop brush, or I'll show you, I can use another wash brush. So let me just show you with the mop brush what I mean. Sometimes you don't have those strokes and you want to blend them, but you have to do it while it's wet. So you might want that appearance where, I think one of the students was asking me about transparency, and they're like, well, how would I get something like, you know, if I'm looking through a car window and it's kind of blurry, or it's like this kind of, you know, soft area. You could do it with water with a squirt bottle, but if you have these like really mop brushes, they're really good for kind of making things look kind of really blurry in the distance, and you're kind of just holding the brush and you're going, let me show you. Yeah, I'm holding the brush and I'm holding it here. You see, I'm not holding it here, right? So I'm holding it here and I'm just gonna go like this, okay? But I'm doing it kind of fast, and I'm just sweeping it lightly, and I get this beautiful feeling, you know, and I do this usually when I'm listening to like really soft music. And I get this beautiful feeling, and I can keep blending it. And do you see how drastically that this changes? I'll show you up close. Okay? You see how gradually that changes? Now, you could have it as where you have these strokes in the background, or you could still use that brush, right? And you could blend, you know, the whole canvas if you wanted to. Sometimes students like to do water. I'll show you how to do that, or you could have it, you know, blurry with the ocean if you wanted to. Now, I want to tell you something. These brushes are really, they're not that expensive, but if you want to save and you want to get them, you know, if you go to an art store, they're going to be more. Go buy a makeup brush. Right? It's almost the same thing, and it will work, right? Walmart could be your best friend. So that works. And this is how you might get things that are blurry like that, okay? So that's another method. So I was showing you with the tree, with the bark, right? You want to use the half blade. It's kind of simple. Always with the washes, with the Impressionist, you can do the large wash, right? You can use the hack or the wash brush, picking up 2 or 3 colors, moving them like I was showing you. Or you can use my favorite friend, the fan brush, right? So we have the brush that is kind of shaped like the fan, where we can pick up those 3 colors. So ask yourself, do you want it to be soft or blended? So let's just blend the rest of this. Now I want to show you something different. So now I have the same mop brush, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to do this. So I'm still using it, right? I'm blending it, but do you see how different it is than the fan brush? So I'm putting these colors down. They're still thick, but now they have this kind of different kind of texture. Okay, I'll show you here kind of up close. So it's different. So you saw the one that was very textured, right? and then you can have it smooth, or you can kind of have it like this in between. Now, if I twirl the brush all the way around, so I'm going like this now, okay, we can change it, and I'll show you. I'm going to put some dark areas in here now. Let's put some dark blues just so you can see what I mean. Okay, so I'm getting these really crazy, dark blues here. Okay, now I get something like this. And what I can do with those dark blues, I'll show you, is I can mix them with my tea white. Okay. And now I get a totally different type of texture than with the fan brush or when we were using the other brush. You see how drastically now the strokes have changed again? Okay? So this is what I call Van Gogh smooth, right? Because it kind of has that Van Gogh kind of stuff, but it's kind of smooth, okay? So again, makeup brush, totally cool if you want to use it, or you can use a mop brush. Four different ways, right? One was textured, and you'll realize that you really don't want to have that much water on it. When I started the blending, I don't have any water on this brush whatsoever. I'm using it dry on dry, right? Or I'm sorry, this is wet. So I'm using it that's wet and dry. But the thing is, I'm not dipping it into water in that sense, okay? And let's just smooth it out because I'm going to do something else now. And I'm going to use this for another canvas. So let's just smooth this out.